What in the f am I going to do with a Trump phone? I don't need another phone bill. We didn't get a stimulus. We didn't get a DOGE check. We didn't get no debt relief. No help for rent. No help for your mortgage. No help for groceries. They won't raise our wages. They won't lower prices. We're drowning in debt, but guess what we get? We get a Donald Trump phone. A fucking phone. Gold-plated with Trump's picture on the back of it. I voted for him. Do I want a fucking Trump phone? No! I want some goddamn relief. No food stamps. No help with child care. No clean water in Flint. No cheap utilities. But a gold-plated, freedom-fueled, white, red, and broke Android with unlimited patriotism for $47.45 a month. Can't call your doctor, can't afford your medications. But don't worry, you can call your landlord and tell him you still can't pay the rent money with your Trump phone. This is what America's come to. No solutions, no support, just a $47.45 phone plan. What is this? Is this a marketing plan? Are we saving the country, or is this all about marketing? They gave up on helping us, but hey, at least the phone comes with a flag so you can show your patriotism, I guess. I don't fucking know anymore.
I did vote for Trump, and now I will deal with the aftermath of the tariffs. I compared 2024 first quarter to 2025 first quarter. I am down 70%. I'm not willing to say that that's due to the decisions of the administration yet, because my business does run in cycles. When it comes to the items that I import directly from China, like the pens, pencils, coffee mugs, keychains, calculators, that's all been affected immediately. I also had a quote for rubber ducks that I was working on, 5,000 rubber ducks. And my unit cost went from below 30 cents to just below 50 cents overnight. Consequently, that order of ducks is on hold. I also have 10,000 poker chips on hold. I have 2,000 hats on hold. This is all merchandise I could be selling right now. Yes, I do have some investments that are down, which is affecting me on the personal side. Now we're not sure which direction we want to go.
This woman tagged the president and Fox News in this video with a plea for help.
My daughter's father has been in America for almost 10 years. He has done everything the right way, trying to come here from Venezuela with his mom. He graduated high school here. He goes to college. He's always worked. He pays taxes. He's never committed a crime. And yet, they are being denied citizenship here in America, and they are at risk of being deported.
And this is what people meant when they said that when you're voting that way, all immigrants were at risk. It doesn't matter if you were a model citizen, doesn't matter if you were a CEO of a company, if you were a police officer, if you contributed to society, it didn't matter. And the worst part about this is her daughter is 3 years old, assuming she's born in America, but now is at risk for deportation just because of the times of America. But to tag the president, he don't care.
So on today's episode of FAFO, so here's how it started. Christine on X wrote, "We did it, hashtag Trump 2024, at real Donald Trump, welcome home my president, crying tears of joy. God bless President Donald Trump and Vice President JD Vance." Then on December 27th, 2024, she wrote, "All of your liberal tears make me happy. Wake up and take the L, and get ready for many more. He won, period. Get over it. I absolutely love how he takes up so much space in your heads, rent-free." And now, here's the after. At POTUS, at Secretary of War, "My husband is in the Texas National Guard and is not being paid while he's working. This is a disgrace to our country. I recently got laid off from my private sector job, and now we have no income. We are desperate. I've never been in this position before. Please help us." Well, Christine, the only thing I have to offer is possibly those tears that you were making fun about people for. Also, if you have no income, there's a phrase that you guys love to use towards others. It's called pull yourself up by the bootstraps. I think also there's a few of you guys out there that also say that there's fast food jobs as well as DoorDash and Uber. And those are possibly a few options for you to do. But anyways, have the day that you voted for. Bye.
This Border Patrol agent found out the hard way. Isaiah Hodgson was a Border Patrol agent who went viral after a video showed him helping arrest a U.S. citizen. Hodgson was the only agent not wearing a mask, so millions of people saw his face. He must have skipped ICE training because the number one rule when you're working with DHS is to cover your face when you're breaking the law. 3 weeks later, he was at a restaurant in Long Beach, and the staff of the restaurant had cut off his group for being too drunk. A woman had found him in the women's restroom with his pew-pew and clip on the sink. You want to guess what he did next? He called her sweetie and asked her on a date. You guys, that just left my horse FAFO speechless. When security told him to leave, he wandered the parking lot with his pew-pew in his hand. The cops were called. When they showed up, he didn't get on the ground like they instructed him to. He instead thought it'd be a good idea to fight them and yell, "I'm BP." As they piled on him, they had to taser him. In jail, drunk and handcuffed, he broke down. "I've already dealt with so much stress," he said. "Everyone just hates me here." That's what you call the consequences of your own actions. He asked the sergeant if he knew what it was like to get doxxed, saying people had shown up at his parents' house. Let me get this straight. This guy was arresting people based off the color of their skin and what language they speak, and he wants us to feel bad for him? He was also facing 7 years in prison. But unfortunately, he never stood trial. He passed away of an OD at his parents' house. Hodgson could have claimed he was just following orders, wrecking the lives of others on the government's behalf, but sometimes the life that gets wrecked is your own.
I think we all need a good FAFO, don't you guys? This one comes to you straight from the Brown family in Ruby Red, rural Missouri. Now, Jim Brown is a 20-year Navy vet, but also a triple Trumper who cheered on ICE deporting the illegal criminal migrants. Now, Jim also married an Irish-born woman who came to the United States when she was just 11 years old. She is a green card holder, so many would say she has the right to be here. I think she has the right to be here, but you know what? ICE doesn't. This administration doesn't. They went through her history, and apparently back in 2015, she wrote a $25 check that she didn't have the funds for. So they picked her up and then disappeared her into a dingy detention center in the state of Kentucky. Now, she has been locked up for a while, and they keep pushing off her immigration hearing, and she's going to be here in that detention center until December 18th, when she will finally have her day in court. Well, her husband doesn't think this is fair, though. He says she didn't do anything wrong, and he doesn't think she needs to go on trial for that misdemeanor that she already took care of. You know what? I agree with you, Jim. I do, and a lot of this country agrees with you as well. And we tried to fucking tell you, but you wouldn't listen. You let your hatred for other people override your own personal interest in your wife's personal interest. We told you he was going after anybody who was not a natural-born U.S. citizen, but you wouldn't listen. You listened to all the hate, lies, and propaganda, and you couldn't bring yourself to vote for the qualified, educated black woman. I sure hope your wife gets her day in court and she gets released, but I know many people who also voted for this administration don't think the same. So I hope you have learned your lesson and will vote accordingly next time.
What a beautiful morning. So grateful that Trump got in office. Life is going to be so much easier again.
A few moments later.
So I just got the quote from the dentist in Mexico I've been looking to go see, because no offense to my current dentist in the United States, I love him. He does a really great job, and I wish I could go to him. I just can't afford dental care in the United States.
Own the libs. Are you winning yet? No, because you played yourself. These are the females who lack the spine and the courage to step into a private voting booth and vote to safeguard their own rights as women. They're so weak that they actively participate in their own downfall, allowing men to use them as tools to strip away their own rights and help strip away the rights of us all as women. This is what happens when you're gullible enough to fall for the conservative patriarchal illusion of a traditional family, where the man is supposed to be the leader, but in reality, that so-called provider is a failure, leaving you, his wife, so financially helpless that you are forced to rely on the very people that y'all demonize and cheer to be deported just to survive. Now look at you crossing the border into Mexico. Yes, the same Mexico you clutch your pearls over just to be able to afford health care. You're out here bragging about voting for Trump, yet you can't even afford to put America first under Trump. You're out here fighting for white supremacy, but white supremacy ain't fighting for you. Make it make sense. And the best part, this is just a warm-up, so buckle up because the real struggle hasn't even started yet.
I'm a supporter of President Donald Trump. Voted for him in this election and the last, and the one prior to that. However, President Trump is about to allow JBS, the world's most corrupt beef organization, to become publicly traded in America. President Donald Trump will be the president that allows for the complete destruction of the small, independent family farms and cattle ranches if he allows this to go through. The FCC has already approved it. Now we're just waiting a mere few days for them to allow it on the stock exchange. And what's concerning is we haven't heard a word from the Secretary of Agriculture about this. We haven't heard any of the large cattle organizations that represent cattlemen speak out about this. They claim to represent cattlemen. The truth is they only represent the big guys. They're bought and paid for by the same organizations, JBS, Cargill, Tyson, National Beef, all the collusion that's happening. Go do a very simple search and you'll see the millions and millions, and tens upon millions of dollars that these companies have been ordered to pay for collusion and price fixing, which has cost us our family farms and ranches. And what that costs us as the people who aren't family farms and ranches is a stable food system. As much as I'm a supporter of many of the other things that Trump is doing, anything else in the world that we're working to accomplish and achieve doesn't matter when you have famine and you starve to death. So, Mr. President, I love you. I appreciate you. It is our job as citizens to hold you accountable. And whoever you've got in your circle, they ain't speaking truth because you're about to put us in a whole world of hurt. Folks, I need you to share this. This is urgent. We've only got a mere few days, and we need millions of people to put pressure to stop this, or it's going to be it'll be a much harder fight to come back from. Thanks, everybody. Shake the hand that feeds you.
This is what happens when y'all F around and find out. So I keep telling y'all, the only thing I have for you is Scarface's No Tears. Tommy, I don't feel sorry for any of these people.
Yeah.
Will I feel sorry if he loses his farm? No. I won't.
So the FAFO train is stopping in Lexington, Nebraska. The Tyson Beef Factory in Lexington, Nebraska just announced that they are closing their doors. This is going to affect 3,200 workers in Dawson County. Dawson County voted 72% for bone spurs. I wonder if bathrooms and making Riley Gaines feel less mediocre was actually worth it. It is no secret that Nebraska has been feeling it ever since this spring. The tariffs really hit them hard, and the rolling back of all of the programs that Joe Biden put into place really hit Nebraska to the point where they were already yelling bankruptcy in May. And Bone Spurs kind of knows that his tariffs are the reasons why the prices of groceries and everything else has gone up, because on November 13th, he signed an executive order to undo his executive order. And he's seeking praise for fixing something that he broke. He signed an executive order to remove tariffs from things like beef, coffee, bananas, and tomatoes, as well as some other things. And this is undoubtedly so that he can say that his policies are bringing prices down when people finally start seeing relief for the items that he canceled his tariffs on. But the thing is, he created the problem. He created those price hikes. So signing this order to bring the prices down for items that he deliberately brought the prices up for isn't a win. But he's going to claim it's a win, and his people are going to believe him. But here's the problem when it comes to our beef farmers. The tariffs on beef were kind of keeping them in the game, especially since Bone Spurs went behind their back and made a beef deal with Argentina. Because the tariffs are on imports, meaning everything that we get from other countries is tariffed, that means that the stuff that is made here in the United States was cheaper than the stuff that we got from other countries, which gave the cattle ranchers and beef manufacturers a little bit of a leg up when it came to selling their beef against the competitive market of other foreign countries selling their beef here in the United States. Now that Bone Spurs has taken the tariffs off of beef, and he has screwed the cattle ranchers when it comes to the Argentina deal, as well as leaving tariffs on things that those companies need in order to do their day-to-day work, increasing their overhead costs while also decreasing how much they make. and how much they can sell, taking the tariffs off of beef at that point for imports makes those imports cheaper than the American beef. And thus, people will probably start buying more of the imported beef than the American beef. I really think he has something against cattle ranchers. And the cattle ranchers overwhelmingly voted for bone spurs. Were the bathrooms worth it? That's just all I want to know. Leave it down in the comments if you're a cattle rancher and you voted for bone spurs. Were the bathrooms really worth it? Was it that important to you to make sure that people of color and marginalized communities don't get a fair shake at work? Was telling it like it is worth your livelihood? This is a lesson for you. Racism and bigotry is expensive. Listen, while you guys are pinching pennies over the holidays to prepare for your factory closing, the rest of us are also going to be closing our wallets. November 25th through December 2nd, we aren't spending anything. And being that you should probably go ahead and save that money, you should probably join us and not spend anything as well. Most of us are going to be cutting back for the rest of the year. And like I said, since you'll be pinching those pennies now because you'll soon be out of a job, you should probably get on that bandwagon too. I hate to say I told you so, but 92%.
A couple months ago, you made a post asking a couple of questions, and now as of a couple days ago, you just made an interesting video that I would like to show the class, answering your own question. So we're going to play the video that he made a couple months ago.
If somebody can tell me why Trump shouldn't be president, tell me.
And now we're going to play the video you made a couple of days ago.
When Trump said he was going to drop prices, I understood it to be groceries and everyday essentials. Because I'm seeing prices go up on groceries and essentials and everyday essentials for the everyday people. Where did I misunderstand?
When any candidate, regardless of affiliation, stands there and runs on lowering grocery prices on day one, you are being lied to. The economy, inflation, is a multifaceted thing, okay? It is determined by many factors, most of which are outside the president's control. But the man you voted for ran and campaigned on doing one of the only things that you can do to drive up inflation, and that is the tariffs. I don't know what you wanted. I don't know how you thought the prices... I don't know, but... This is you fucking around. This is you finding out. This is all of us being like, you really thought he was going to lower grocery prices on day one and you voted for him based off of that and you couldn't sniff out that it was a lie? My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
This is Mr. Trump, Mr. President. Help us out. It's been almost 6 months and you still ain't bringing gas prices down, Trump. Why? Why ain't you drilling? Drill, baby, drill. You know, it's $3 a gallon. Yeah, gas is $3 a gallon. Yes. Mr. Trump.
Begging to bring gas prices down. MAGA begging for farm bailouts. And he's wearing his MAGA hat. It's been 8 months. Name one thing that he has done for American people, any American, black, white, yellow, green, black, brown. Name one thing that he has done for America, for any citizen. There is nothing. I bet you this guy voted for him 3 times. I bet you he would tell you after starving that he would vote for them again. Life is about lessons and how quickly you learn them. And I pray I never have to learn lessons like this.
Did you guys see that woman talking about her father getting kicked out of the nursing home? Well, apparently the nursing homes are kicking out their Medicare patients. And she was like, why would they do that? And everyone in the comments was like, honey, this is what you voted for. This is Medicare cuts. This is the big, beautiful bill. And she was like, no, that's not it. Yes, it is. I work in skilled nursing. 90% of the residents that are in there, they are Medicare patients. These buildings stay open because of Medicare. They will close down. They will not care for your aging parents and grandparents for free. They will send them home to you. You will have to quit your job and stay home and take care of them. That means you're going to have to be the caregiver for your father, your husband, your kids. You're going to have to quit your job. You're going to do all this on half the income for your household. This economy is going to suffer greatly when these places start closing down. This is one of the reasons, this is the main reason why I did not want to rely on the U.S. for my income while I'm living abroad. The economy here is bound to crash. When you cut Medicare like that and these places close, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. The dollar is going to suffer. There is no forethought with these people. They have no idea what is happening.
This Republican family in North Carolina is finding out the hard way. The Jones family has been running sawmills since the late 19th century. Wilson Jones, who voted for Trump all 3 times, just had to shut down his 95-year-old Mackey's Ferry mill. 80% of their business was exporting hardwood to China and Vietnam. Then, Trump's Liberation Day tariffs hit. China slapped a 125% tariff right back at the US, and suddenly, a $500,000 shipment of wood was worth less than the taxes on it, and 50 of the mill's workers lost their jobs. But I don't understand why the Jones family's complaining so much. The guy they wanted to win won. They should be thrilled. Wilson now says his decision feels disgusting, and calls Trump's trade agenda a fool's mission. But don't feel too bad. Wilson's only saying that because now it's affecting him. He says hearing the natural quiet at his silent mill is as unnerving as watching a loved one take their final breath. Wilson, you were the one that helped pull the plug, dude. In the Trump regime's eyes, your business going under is them winning. The Jones family's century-old legacy is now cooked, all thanks to their own support of a crook, con man, and imagine trying to explain that one to your grandkids.
Good afternoon. I have a fuck around and find out story. I've been waiting for one that I personally is connected to me, and I finally found one today. I'm looking at myself. I had a couple of scratches here. I was playing and that's not important. Anyhow, so I have a former friend. She and her husband, huge MAGA people, and we have some mutual friends that my friends are still talk to her a little bit. And I find out today that she retired a couple of years ago and made a huge profit off of selling her house, like $600,000. And her husband, and her profit money go to Salt Lake City, where they are going to build a custom home. Now, according to my friend, this custom home is supposed to be like over the top, 10,000 square feet, Jordanian marble, a Trump identity type of thing. And so they buy the land. They hire a contractor, they do everything, and they start to build the house. My friend and her husband are living in a fifth wheel on the property. Well, because of tariffs, the price of building material goes up, and so the contractor goes to them and said, we're going to have to, building materials are costing more, we're going to have to charge you more. And my friend and her husband fork over more money from the profit of their home. But as these tariffs continue and they're in, they're out, they're up, they're down, the contractor is not messing around anymore. And he says, I need to, we're going to just leave the price of this open. And whatever it ends up being, we're going to put a percentage on there for me. And, but I can't, the building materials supply is risky. And so my friend and her husband go to the bank to secure a loan to make sure that they can pay for whatever it's going to be. Well, come to find out that my friend's husband has put all of the profit money that they didn't already use into Trump cryptocurrency. And he has lost all of it. Now, I don't know if the cryptocurrency is up and down. I don't know too much about it. But whenever it was down, he lost all of it. My friend said that my ex-friend had $4,000 to her name, and she has had to go back to work, but she doesn't have a teaching license in Utah, and so she can't teach. She can't even substitute teach. And so she got a job at like Home Depot where she's watering plants in their garden, and she's making like $12.50 an hour. I don't want to laugh outwardly. I did when I was talking to my friend who's telling me this story. I kind of want to send my ex-friend a ha-ha emoji. but I wasn't until I found out that she was watering flowers, and I think I must. I don't know. I'm debating about it, but oh my goodness.
This is how it went.
You know these tariffs that Donald Trump is putting on these other countries? Well, they're actually a good thing for the American consumer.
And this is how it's going.
You know, I've been hearing all these people complaining about prices not going down since Donald Trump became president. So I thought I'd go make a video at Walmart yesterday to show y'all how prices have come down. Guess what I found? $2.50 for a cookie. I mean, I used to get a whole package of Chip Ahoy cookies for that price. $8.24 for a gallon of bleach. Yeah, prices ain't went down.
This man straight up went to Walmart in order to fact check liberals because we have been stating, hey guys, the prices are not going down. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics in our own eyes, prices are actually going up. So he heads to Walmart to try to fact check this. Just to realize that he's wrong. He's like, oh shit. Prices are actually still going up. They are not going down. He literally fact checked himself in real time, and we get to see him go into the grocery store and discover that Donald Trump's tariffs, that he earlier in the previous video was praising, are actually making the prices go up. This is what you voted for, though. World-renowned economists all stated that blanket tariffs would cause inflation. We told you so. We told you that. You guys chose to ignore the experts. This is what happens when people whose IQ is in hell get to control the country. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
In this edition of FAFO, titled 3P and My Life Still Isn't Better. So here's how this one started. On November 3rd, 2024, in response to this post saying Trump's campaign is completely imploding, in the last 24 hours alone, polling showed Trump losing Iowa, new audio tapes revealing Trump is Jeff's friend, and today only a handful of people showed up for his rally, Let's Go, where Carla Shelton says, keep telling yourselves that with laughing emojis, Trump 2024. Well, let's see how Carla's doing now. On November 10th, 2025, Carla Shelton writes, yeah, I voted for Trump 3 times. The first term, my husband was laid off from his oil field job for a year. He worked more under Obama and Biden than he did Trump. Now once again, we're under Trump. The oil prices are so low, oil companies can't and won't drill. So it seems like you guys were thriving under Barack Obama's and Joe Biden's economies. And yet again, under Trump, it seems like you guys are suffering. And yet you somehow voted for this again, your 3rd time. This is just a major case of FAFO because if you decided to vote for this yet again, then this is just the consequences of your own actions. But anyways, have the day that you voted for. Bye.
When they go low, you go to hell. You know what I mean? Like you can go way lower, and you just wouldn't. That was not your jam.
No, I mean there's another one. FA.
FAFO?
Yes.
Hey.
FO.
Hey. Hey. You know I know.
I just realized that it's been a minute since I've given you guys some piping hot, FAFO satisfying stories. Now, I'm not one to relish in people's downfall or turmoil. I'm really not. But one of my personal mantras that I've recently adopted within the past few years is that I can't care more than you do. And in this case, I can't care more about your well-being and your quality of life more than you do. So if you did something that puts that at jeopardy, I can't feel sorry for you. And that's what you voted for. That saying will never get old. So just like this guy here on the screen, he's complaining about higher groceries, higher everything except for our wages. And he wants to say, oh, promises were broken. Like, did you trust this man to ever fulfill the promises? But I guess in their minds, probably so, or else he wouldn't be like their savior and the person to save America and make it great again, right? Here he's trying to sell y'all, not even give you, at least Obama gave us a phone for free under certain circumstances, but he's still trying to make y'all pay for a phone. It will never get old to me how people will still sit back and defend this. It's just something I'm never going to be able to understand or fathom. But it's just so many people that are suffering, and the sad part about it is that a lot of these people would vote for him if he could run in 2028. For sure. Like one of the clips I included in tonight's video of the North Carolina family, I think someone commented under his video and said the guy, the owner, whatever he is, he would vote for him again. And I think that's something that I don't really talk about a lot, but something that just kind of clicked in my mind is that, and it's still relatively obvious, is that a lot of people will be okay with being at a disadvantage because it's an FU to Democrats and the other side. Now, granted, a lot of them, like I have said in multiple of my videos in the past, a lot of them will say, oh, I'm going to vote for him again. Like, this is what I voted for. I'm getting everything that I voted for. But silently, they will be struggling and wishing they hadn't. But I do feel like there's a certain section of MAGA who still will love Trump, even though they are suffering and they're losing it all. Just because it's an FU to the other side, to where like they'll accept that just to make it seem like Trump is still better than Biden, Obama, whatever president. So that is something I don't really think about a lot, but some people probably are still going to be stuck in their ways. And I just think that it's sad. Things are just not looking good for them. Like each and every time you log into any form of social media, you're hearing about something bad happening in Washington, D.C., or somebody just venting on social media about how their life is being affected by this man. And yeah, that's just the way the cookie was going to crumble, and we're going to hear more and more of this, and I'm never going to believe that everyone is getting what they're voting for. I will never believe it. You could say you would vote for him in 2028 as much as you want, but I do not believe you. But anyway, you guys, this video is long enough. Let me know what you think about this down below. Did you enjoy this little compilation of FAFO stories? I know I did. I like to feel a little bit of rejoice in, hearing people regret their vote a little bit, but that's just me. Let me know what you think of it down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe because that will really help out to support me and would be greatly appreciated. And thanks so much for watching, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Bye. See you later.